Welcome to the Post 4 All Season Sports Show. I'm Drew Rubenstein here again with Fred Wine. And Fred, appreciate you joining us here. And our discussion really is going to pick up right where it left off last time. We were talking about the WVU quarterback situation and how the Mountaineers really needed to get somebody in place just so that the team could rally behind one leader. And since then, Dana Holgorsen's announced that Clint Trickett's going to be the starting quarterback for the Mountaineers this fall. Haven't even gone into fall camp, but he's made it clear that Clint's his guy. And for Clint, now walking into the facilities building, I'm sure he's going to say he still needs to be the diligent worker and go about his job and to keep it, that he's got to keep doing everything. But what's different for him as he walks back into the facilities building and interacts with teammates?
Well, hopefully he doesn't think he has to keep the job. Mm-hmm. When Holgorsen, it's the first time Holgorsen's ever relinquished the quarterback position
this
from
early,
himself.
Right.
And so that'll be part of it to see how he does. But Clint, I think, will handle it because he's played quarterback his entire life, and the times that I remember him here and as a younger player, he was always in charge, and he played quite a bit down in Florida. So I would say that he's not thinking about that too much as he is that he's just happy and now let me go about my business and do my job. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not he's allowed to do that, because keep in mind that he was the third person in line, maybe the fourth, in calling plays up till this time right now. So you've got four other people that aren't getting to do what they were doing before. So who knows? I just think he's a good kid. I think his dad knows what to do to help him, and then it's a question if he's allowed to do it.
The teammates too, they're going to be looking at him, I would think, in a different fashion, because WVU just went through so many guys last year, 3 different starting quarterbacks, and maybe the receivers never really got comfortable with one guy, and maybe they were guarded in the way that they would talk about the quarterback situation because they didn't want to hurt the feelings of the guy who was actually going to be starting that next Saturday. But now that it's clear that Clint is the guy, are they going to start viewing him differently? I don't know, even as you reflect back on your career, when you are the guy and you're walking into the facilities building, being the quarterback, it draws a different amount of attention than other positions.
Well, I think that probably it's not going to make that much difference to them mm-hmm. if they have confidence in him. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they may look at it and say, well, I'm not sure about him. He's only, in my case, I was only a freshman. And but I knew how I felt, and that's all that really made any difference at that particular point. And assuming that I could do the job, then I was going to continue to do the job, which turned out that I was allowed to do for 4 years, and without ever being interfered with as far as what I was trying to do out there on the field, not once.
Mm-hmm. The level of pressure on Clint, I mean, there's pressure when you're competing for the starting job, and now there's pressure to keep it, but also rally the team. But it seems like it's a different type of pressure, right? I mean, whereas before it was always trying to win the job and keep the job, and now it's more of, let's see what we can really build this team and this program into, and now he's kind of looking at it from that bigger perspective, I would think.
Well, I think he is, and the nice thing about it is it's his, mm-hmm. and so he can control his own destiny, assuming they catch the passes and they don't fumble and right. things like that. And usually the coach is going to take that into consideration. But there's a real opportunity for him to finish out this year and to have a great year, and who knows what might happen after. But it'll be interesting to see, again, because it's a new dynamics, and we don't know how that's going to work. I'm not so concerned that the players are going to, I think it's going to be an adjustment for the coaches.
To see how much trust they ultimately place in Clint? Is that what you mean there?
I would think some that trust in Clint, and the fact that, you know, I always did this when I was at the other schools, and now I'm not sure I wanted to do this, but I mean, he almost needed to do that, to allow that to happen, and so we'll see, well, you know, how it goes with him. Mm-hmm. But Clint is a tough kid, so I mean, I think we've got a good chance. Whether or not he can win, we'll wait and see.
Last one on this subject. If you could offer, I guess, Clint a piece of advice, I think people would be kind of interested in. And now that he is established as the guy, you were established most of your WVU career as the starting quarterback, and just from that point of view of being in charge of the team, what sorts of advice would you give to Clint at this point? Well,
I went clear back into my high school days, mm-hmm. and that's what I thought of, because I know the freedom that I was given, and it was unusual and different, and the fans up in the stands used to say, well, at least when he throws the ball, he can't catch it himself. So, but you have to have that sort of thing, and then you have to produce for the other 10 guys, because they're the ones on the field, not the ones on the bench, the ones on the field that are saying, is this the guy? I think it is. What a great play he made. Now that inspires them. And you never know. One person can make a huge difference.
So really you're saying, I mean, he's got to want to make those plays and not be afraid to be what some may term selfish. He's got to be. He's
got to go back when he dominated the little leagues.
Yeah.
And be the man that comes out there and with confidence and knew what he was doing, and he'll probably talk to his dad, mm-hmm. even regardless of the fact, and they probably know that here, but then it's a question of can we get everybody else on the same page, mm-hmm. and that'll be interesting to find out. That's the dynamic that's for all of us to, you and I think we know what's going to happen, but right. We really don't know until until it does happen.
And he doesn't get a tune-up this year with Alabama being in the season opener, which I think would just add a whole another layer of pressure in the off-season months preparing for that one.
Well, it does, and yet, an example, we played Pitt, and we played them. It was the first time that they ever beat a major ranked team. And we had a system. We had one senior on that team. Excuse me, that was a year after we didn't have any. And we had, all I did was run the option. All Tommy Allman, the fullback, did was block everybody. And Jack Stone gained 139 yards, and Joe Marconi gained 128. And that was all the play, and we beat Pitt. First time anybody, and nobody thought we were going to do that except us, because we didn't. As I always used to say, I didn't even know where Alabama was or where Pitt was. I was from Weston, so that didn't really make any difference to most of us.
No, that's interesting. We'll get more into the mindset of the season openers in future episodes, but appreciate your time once again, Fred. And please continue to check thedpost.com for the latest in our discussions. Thanks once again.
Thanks.